What is up, guys? I'm back with another battle spot rating battle singles battle for you guys. Today I have a really good battle. I think it's the best battle I had so far against the person called Asu Kapu. It's a pretty weird name. She was in the 1600s, and yeah, that's the highest I've battled so far. I've touched the 1600s, but I did fall a bit. It was unfortunate, I was playing poorly. I did win. I won once with a Salmon sweep, which I'm not going to show because you don't really learn anything from just sweeping with the Salmons. And yeah, another one I played pretty badly and then I dropped from the 1600s. But yeah, right now I'm broken even again, so, one step at a time really. Anyways, she did have a pretty scary team. In the team preview, she had a Rotom Wash, Garchomp, Salamence, Scizor, Heatran, and a Sylveon. So, it's a pretty interesting team. Sylveon is a threat to Salamence because, most builds right now can tank hit from Double Edge or Return and hit Oko back with the pixelated Hyper Voice. Because, Hyper Voice is also more available now that it's a tutor move. And yeah, Rotom Wash, it stops a lot of the Pokemon on my team, and Garchomp and Scizor, they're pretty annoying. Heatran is also, there's a lot of different sets for Heatran. There can be a defensive Heatran with that Toxic Stalls, or there can be the offensive one that traps you with I forgot its signature move, the Magma Storm. Yeah, Magma Storm, there it is. But yeah, anyways, I knew from the team matchup that Zapdos had a really fun time against this team, except for the Sylveon, because Sylveon can tank its hits for days. But I didn't really have much for the Sylveon, so I did fear she would bring a Sylveon, but luckily she didn't. Though I did have Gunk Shot, but I can't really switch into a Sylveon because, Greninja also does not really appreciate Hyper Voice from said Sylveon. Anyways, yeah, let's just hop on right into this battle. So she does decide to bring the Heatran, which is, not really a terrible matchup for me, but I do, it is really, really bulky and annoying, and it can do a lot of different things. So here I'm just leading off with Zapdos, and I didn't carry Volt Switch again because I was still, messing around with my offensive team, but I don't know, I feel like Volt Switch is definitely a better choice. And yeah, so I saw the substitute, and then I just dreaded this moment because that means it is a bulky Heatran. So, it's the usual Toxic Stalling, Toxic Protect, substitute, and most likely Lava Plume to go for the burn damage and up its walling capabilities. So here I go for the Dark Pulse. I didn't want to reveal that I had the Low Kick because, Low Kicks will scare the Heatrans away. I didn't want to have a chance to just potentially Oko it because from this range, even defensive Heatran, actually no. It probably was a range with the leftovers. But yeah, anyways, it does deal a hell of a lot. And yeah, after that with Zapdos, I can pretty much clean up the rest of his team. Anyways, I did go for the Low Kick here, unfortunately, and he does reveal the Protect, so now he knows that I carry Low Kick. That was a pretty bad play on my part. I should have stayed with the Dark Pulse, and because the Protect was pretty obvious. The moment he used Toxic on me, the next move is usually a Protect. So yeah, either I went for Dark Pulse or switched into Salamence to get ready for the Earthquake would have been the best play. Yeah, alas, I did not make the right play. I don't know. At the time, I kind of thought he was going to make another substitute, expecting a switch or something, but yeah, he does go for the safe Protect. There was no reason for him not to go for the Protect. So yeah, anyways, I go into my Salamence, and because I knew he was going to switch. I didn't know what he was going to switch into, but I just knew Salamence was going to, be a good choice against whatever he wanted to bring. And here, I didn't really want to take a Will-O-Wisp from anything, onto anything. I need my Zapdos to wall, the Heatran in case it comes down to a 1v1. But it does reveal a Thunder Wave. So, I was fearing the Will-O-Wisp, and I didn't really mind the Will-O-Wisp because I can knock it out in 3 turns. But yeah, it turns out to be a Thunder Wave set instead of the Will-O-Wisp set. And with Rocky Helmet too, it just racks up a lot of damage. So here I go for a Dragon Dance instead of another Dragon Claw, because if I attacked him, he would have lived, and I would have gotten knocked out with the Rocky Helmet damage there. But since I'm +1, I am able to take out this Rotom. Thankfully, I was not fully paralyzed on either of those turns. And yeah, I managed to take it out. It was a dual knockout, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Now that Rotom Wash is out of the way, Greninja is going to have a field day, depending on what her last Pokemon is, and it was a Salamence. So, obviously she knows that most Greninjas do carry Ice Beam, and Ice Beam does one-shot Salamence, no surprise there. So she does switch into the Heatran. So here I'm not really keen on, getting stalled out with toxic damage because I do not have any way of healing. I should have kind of predicted a switch, but at the same time, it was a 50-50 if I went for a low kick there or if I went for an Ice Beam. And yeah, she got the 50-50 over there. But it was really not worth the risk, because if I did go for a low kick, it would have done pretty much 0 on a Salamence and I would have gotten knocked out. So yeah, I have no choice but to go for Zapdos, and I knew he was going to use Protect, so there was nothing stopping me from switching out and getting the free turn of switch, which is really good. And here I decided to just keep putting the pressure on him with the, well, not only with the ability pressure, but also just Thunderbolting him, and he turns out to be faster than me, so this tells me that I do have a good chance of one-shotting it with low kick, because he does run quite a bit of speed if he's going to outspeed my Zapdos, and that did a lot of damage and turned out to be a crit. Although I don't think it really matters because the Thunderbolt is still enough to break the substitute, which is pretty much what I need. And yeah, that's pretty much the best part about having Thunderbolt over Volt Switch, because the Thunderbolt does pick up important KOs within a certain range that Volt Switch does not. For example, this substitute probably would still be around if it weren't for Thunderbolt and I went for Volt Switch instead, because of the 20 difference base power. It makes a pretty big difference. So I mean, I don't really mind the toxic damage on my Zapdos because I do carry the Roost. So he can stall me out all at once until like I'm at toxic 8 or 9. Does it really become an issue for me, because toxic damage does rack up. But I knew that until then I do have a huge advantage and I can take out this Heatran before bad things happen to me. So yeah, I knew that I'm in a pretty good spot right now, because I can potentially knock out both of her remaining 2 Pokemon with Zapdos before toxic damage becomes a really, really big problem. So I just continuously go for Thunderbolt, and that does a good chunk to this Salamence. And I was not really afraid of whatever it was gonna do. Even if it decides to Dragon Dance to counter my Greninja, I do have HP Ice, and it will knock it out from that range, definitely. Like, just looking at what Thunderbolt did, Thunderbolt is 130 with Stab, HP Ice is 240, so it would have definitely taken it out. And here he goes for the Outrage, which was definitely a misplay on her part, or maybe, I don't know, it was probably her only choice. Because now that he's locked in, I can go into Greninja, outspeed, and pick out the KO with the Ice Beam. So yeah, that's exactly what I do. I am faster, obviously, because of the 123 speed, and the Ice Beam takes it out. And now all I have to do is just hope the Heatran doesn't get, I don't know, 5 Protects off in a row, and I die to what was it, toxic damage. Because I am at half, I'm kind of scared. But yeah, at this range, Heatran is definitely going to go down to a low kick. So yeah, she tries to stall me out with Protect. It's gonna work the first time, but then, as you know, Protect, the probability of Protect succeeding multiple times in a row gets lower and lower, and yeah, the leftovers is not gonna help the Heatran. Defensive Heatrans, they take like 80% from a low kick, and this one runs a lot of speed, so I knew that it was just gonna go down. And she probably knew that too. She did not go for protect this time, and I just went straight for the low kick, pick out the kill, and the win. So yeah, it was a really fun game. It was a really intense game too, because you know both of my Pokemon were poisoned. If she managed to stall me out with a lot of tricky switches between the Heatran and the Salamence, she probably could have won. Though, you know, not really, because Zapdos is a beast. Zapdos single-handedly could have, you know, outlived the Toxic to beat both of them. And yeah, she probably knew that too. Like, Zapdos was just really good against all three of her Pokemon. Yeah, and now, just like looking back, the Rotom Wash against the Zapdos, you know, can't do anything with Thunder Wave, and you know, I probably should have switched to Zapdos in hindsight, because you know, burn damage is better than toxic damage, because unlike toxic damage, the burn damage does not rack up as the turns increase, and I can just infinitely stall out the Heatran with toxic, I mean with burn damage, because I do have Roost. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, either way, I did pick up the win, and yeah, it was a really interesting battle. Mega Salamence on both sides, you know. That's pretty much singles battle spot right now anyway. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as much as I did anyway, and yeah, see you guys next time. Have a good day.